All right, online shopping, it's become a huge industry. It's estimated that 75% of Americans shop online at least once a month. And with the pandemic, the percentage of e-commerce has climbed to almost 22% of all retail sales in 2020. But buyer beware. One of those main services that are being provided by is installment purchases. Those can be costly as well. We are joined now with Chris Thetford from the Better Business Bureau to tell us more about some of the problems that consumers can run into with these types of services. Chris?
Sure. Thanks, Molly. So as we've seen those numbers grow that you pointed out, the numbers of people shopping online, the percentage of purchases happening online, a new development that's happened is that online retailers have started offering, in some cases, installment alternatives for consumers. So these would appeal to people who don't have a credit card, who don't have a debit card, but would still like to purchase things online. And so what happens is once you make your selections online of what you want to purchase, just like you would normally do, when you get to the payment portion of the transaction, it asks you if you would like to make installment payments. And at that point, the consumer needs to understand that they're entering into a contract to make those payments, and they're going into debt to buy whatever it is that they're looking at online. And that's the piece that consumers need to understand, since this is such a new form of commerce in the world we live in now, with such common numbers and such high numbers of people shopping online.
So since this is a form really of credit, does this impact your credit score?
It can, and that's one thing that consumers need to understand, is that you're making a commitment to make those payments. So as you're going through that process, if you decide to make installment payments on whatever it is you're going to purchase, as a consumer, you need to think about your budget. You need to think about, is this going to impact my ability to meet my other financial obligations? And at the same time, this is when it's very crucial to not skip over those terms and conditions. So what we always want to do is just agree to the terms and conditions. But what you need to do is you really need to look at those. So you need to understand what the interest rate is. What happens if you have to make a payment late? How is that going to impact my credit in either a positive or a negative way? And you need to read those details as a consumer so that you understand the legal commitment that you're making and the impact that it could be having on your credit score and your ability to get credit down the line.
Any other red flags people should look for, or specific banks or whatnot that you see doing this kind of work? Are there any benefits to ever using a payment service like this?
Sure. So it could be a benefit for people who are credit challenged but need to make a purchase and who can actually afford to make a purchase. So there are definitely benefits, and consumers can take advantage of that. The power that a consumer has in the transaction is once you get to the piece where you're asking for installment payments, that's where a consumer can step back and look back at who it is the installment contract is with. So that's when you can do your research to figure out who it is that you're going to be legally obligated to. Do go to places like the Better Business Bureau, see what other consumers' experience has been with those finance companies, so you can see what sorts of issues have arisen with other consumers, so that you can make a decision about whether or not that's a finance company that you want to enter into a contract with.
All right, Chris Thetford with the Better Business Bureau, thank you so much for joining us.